Nick,
Yeah.
do you like Thor the wrestler? Because I don't need to ask Mike.
I like John Michael Thor.
Sabu's my favorite wrestler.
I didn't ask.
Right now, I really like Momo Watanabe from Stardom. Holy shit.
You're not a Roman
Mikey
Reigns
loves
guy?
Momo. No. I
But
will.
did you like The Undertaker?
You're
I
not,
want
you're
Sami
not, you're
Zayn
not
to
part
win.
of the Shield.
I didn't watch it.
Did you like The Undertaker?
Yeah, I was a
Yeah,
big
dude,
Undertaker
Paul
fan.
didn't, I
Bearer,
guess.
man. Rest in peace,
But
Paul
fuck
Bearer.
Kane.
Oh, dude, fuck Kane, for real.
What about what's his face is real
We live
famous
in
now
the
and does
county
Magic
where
Mike?
he's mayor.
What's that guy's name?
Which guy?
He's hot. He's in the movies now.
Oh, the
Not The Rock.
Batista?
No, the guy that's in
John
Magic
Cena?
Mike. John Cena, yeah.
John
Do you like him as a wrestler?
No, I
Okay.
don't. Cena sucks.
Go on.
Hey guys, it's your
Let's
favorite
go
final girl
Cena.
and boy,
Cena
Emily and
sucks.
Nick, and your favorite final babysitter, Mike,
Yo.
coming at you with a new episode of Gagging with a Knife, where we disembowel,
It's a weekly
dissect.
podcast.
That's right.
The best and worst
Slasher
slasher
movies.
movies.
Rock and roll slashers.
I
This
can't even see it.
he's reading a.
Time for another rock and roll slasher or something with 1987's Rock and Roll Nightmare. Like Thor, well, get ready, because I'm going to read the box. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Mjolnir.
Sex, death, and rock and roll. A hot new rock group, their sexy young girlfriends, an out-of-the-way farm.
And wives.
It should have been the week of their dreams. Instead, it became a rock and roll nightmare because after a day of making music and making love, this band is starting to break up, only it's one by one and limb by limb. Rock and Roll Nightmare features sensational new music by Thor and dozens of horrifying special effects created by a small army of visual and makeup artists. I'm going to say that's wrong, but
Yeah. They just
Rock and
look
Roll
like
Nightmare.
Dicks with eyeballs.
Rock and Roll Nightmare. When the band starts to rock, heads start to roll.
Yeah.
1987, your thoughts?
That's the best part of the movie.
I saw this movie
Back in
in
the
high
box.
school, and this movie fucking rules.
I saw the riff
It's pretty
tracks
great.
version first.
And also,
honestly.
so I have a weird story about how so I saw this movie before I knew what Thor was, and one day
Who he was, you mean?
well, I was cataloging records in a record store, and I saw that over on the rack.
Where the dog's at or whatever.
Yeah,
Where
no,
the buffalo roam, the dogs.
the
no,
dogs
it was
out.
keep the dogs off.
Thor.
Way to
Thor,
keep the
Thor.
dogs away. Keep
Keep
the dogs away.
That's the album, and I saw it over there, and I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, dude, I gotta listen to this. So I listened to it, and I was like, dude, it doesn't sound like it looks. And Thor is fucking awesome.
Thor's awesome.
It kind of sounds like it looks, but it's not what you'd expect.
It's,
and
it's not like this, right?
Well, I saw the movie before I knew what Thor was.
But his band doesn't sound like the band in this. The track.
Yeah,
track
no,
sound.
it
It is.
does.
Those are the tracks. Those are tracks from that album.
It totally does. Yeah, it totally
Those are
sounds
tracks
like
from that album, yeah.
But the thing is like, it's really good.
And Triton's
Yeah,
his,
no, I agree.
Triton's his real name,
like
right?
some of those bands are fucking amazing. I mean, some of the songs.
Well, no, that Triton is like Thor written shit. It's just he looks like hair metal or like something like what do you call it? It's not it's the band that the Dictator did afterwards.
Manowar?
Manowar.
Yeah.
So get us started.
Manowar rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Manowar fucking
So
rules.
Thor did write this movie before I go into anything else.
Oh, shit. I didn't know
He
that.
did write it. John
I heard he
Fasano,
produced
the
it.
director, wrote and produced Darkness Falls, associate producer of Tombstone,
Black Roses.
directed and edited and produced Black Roses. He was Larry in Blood Sisters, which is a movie we've already done. He was the script doctor for Die Hard with a Vengeance and Tombstone. He created the child wolf creature from this shit show. And he was the sound editor, director, and producer of
the
The
Child
Jitters.
Wolf was probably one of the cooler effects.
Yeah, it was.
in retrospect.
Otherwise, they just use that like hand glove a bunch. That's like clearly the same thing.
The demon hand.
Yeah, but it's a glove. It's a green glove, and
nice.
it's like Fascination Film.
They just greased it up.
It said Fascination Film Effects. I was
I
like,
think that's all
Fascination
the
Film
little
Effects, my
dicks.
ass. But
This movie fucking rules.
it's
dude.
also called
dick
The Edge
fraggles.
of Hell. So that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the copy that you loaned me.
Well, no, I mean the copy that's on
like Fall
Amazon
Break.
also says it.
Well, that's also
like
the-
Well,
Ragman.
they changed it for the video distribution. of
Isn't
it.
that also the album they're working on in the movie?
I don't
It's
know.
Edge of Hell.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It's what it says on one of the
They just
reels.
keep on calling it a rehearsal, and I'm like, but
It's
you're in a
no,
recording studio.
they're recording
so...
a demo to go to the studio.
No,
They're
they
there
keep
to
on
come up
calling it
with
a
10
rehearsal.
10 minutes of new material.
Anyway, so
Get started?
yeah,
All right, there's an old farmhouse. There's
that
a
we're gonna see a
tractor.
lot.
Yeah, dude, this house is
The
the star of
exposition
this
shot
movie.
of this fucking house pads about probably 15 minutes of the movie.
There's a
and a
lady-
half moon.
Oh yeah, the half moon. I really appreciate the half moon because it's always
It's
a
always a
fucking
full moon, yeah.
See, I thought this is my first time seeing Rock and Roll Nightmare. I thought since they were there for 5 weeks, we were gonna see the half moon make it to a full moon. That's when the shit was going
No.
down. Nope, this devil couldn't wait. There's a lady cooking eggs. There's a kid with a comic. There's a dad shaving. She starts, she's like, hey, come eat. And the kid's like, don't scramble those eggs without me. Like, that's their thing, is they scramble
His
eggs
name's
together.
Cal.
Cal?
Yeah.
Is Cal Thor? I gotta ask.
No,
Okay.
because he's gonna turn into a monster later.
Well, he goes to that graveyard at the end. And he's like, I told you I'd avenge you.
I think he's just talking to God or
Okay.
something. I don't
Like-
know.
Well, no.
I think he might have been the kid.
Don't give away the twist ending on this one. Like,
Okay, I
Like,
won't.
no.
I won't.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I was
we'll get
so
there in about
shocked.
15 we'll
I
get
was
there in
so
about 15
shocked by the twist ending.
I was not.
I had no fucking
I was
clue
not
what was
shocked,
going to happen.
and
I thought he was going to fight some
I wasn't
dick
either,
fraggles.
but whenever like
Dick fraggles, that's
you,
right.
You know what I'm talking about. We'll get there.
yeah, okay, in
Is
like
it-
15 minutes. Yeah.
Let's climb this hill together, Mike.
Another question: is it Mandy or Randy? I think
Randy.
I think
I
it's
feel like she
Randy.
gets
It's
called
Randy.
I
both.
think
It's Randy.
Yeah.
And it's Luann, not Lynn. I don't know. There's a weird accent.
No, it's
work in
Lynn.
this.
I
It
think
is
it's
Lynn?
Lynn. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let's Luann.
Is it
So-
Luann?
Yeah.
She opens the door and starts screaming. The dad runs down. He opens the oven, and I thought there was gonna be a monster in the oven, but I guess it's the skeleton of the mom in the oven.
How'd you get in the oven again, Luann? But he's screaming like that. He's like, Luann, Luann. And then he sees the oven and he goes, oh, Luann.
No, that's Lynn. No, this is the mom at the beginning. Her name is not Luann.
Oh, is
Luann's in the
I thought
movie
it was-
later.
I wrote
It
down
is
Carol.
Luann.
Her name's Carol.
Yeah.
The mom.
So in the beginning, what he's talking about is like, yeah, the oven is like
It's
open,
like
and like the
jiggling.
dude's like,
Yeah.
oh, Carol.
I thought a
And it's
monster was
like, has
hiding
she
in
done
there.
this before? Like,
They're all devoured by a fridge monster. Okay.
It's the stove. Wait, and it only shows the
in
mom.
fridge. It's a fridge monster.
There's a chicken in the fridge later, but where are you getting this fridge monster thing?
I don't know. I guess I thought I
there
saw
was
it.
a fridge monster that yanked the mother into it.
She got yanked into the oven, right?
No,
No,
it
it's
was
a
a
fridge.
fridge.
But she was
And
that
but
was her in the oven,
No,
right?
no.
I don't
The
know.
skeleton in the
I thought it
oven?
was all
No,
a fridge.
no,
You
no.
guys saw the skeleton in the
It's
oven, right?
demons, man.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is
I
demons.
mean, whatever.
Well, the
You
kid's
got- you
watching
gotta
from the top of the
believe.
stairs. He screams. There's the credits. Oh,
Edge of the dark.
before
edge
I
of
see
hell.
the first little dead guy, I just called it cool cam because it looks like a camera on a skateboard just going through this fucking house, or like in a
Until
remote
we see a van drive for about 10
and
minutes.
then it says Edge
Oh,
of Hell.
dude.
Well, that's on
That is
purpose.
a long
That's on
ass-
purpose.
The cool
I will talk about
the
it.
cool
at
cam goes from
when we
room
get
to
there.
room, then it goes under the stairs, it goes under the couch, and there's a Canadian van and the license plate says Ducker.
Ducker USA 1.
Ducker USA 1.
Mighty Ducks.
It is a badass motherfucking
And
van.
it says them
too.
on the back, too.
That must have been Thor's real touring
seriously.
van.
Yeah.
Dude.
Ducker.
Thor
What is
fucking-
Ducker?
This
though?
was added in
man.
at the this van scene was added in at the end of pad because they needed
John
10 more.
Michael Thor, if you were
The
listening,
movie,
It's
which
Thor
is
driving.
please
the
contact
movie's an
us.
hour and 23 minutes, but I guess that to make movie requirements, it had to be 10 more minutes, and it wasn't 10
So they said
minutes. So
shots
they
of the
added
house
10 minutes of
and
van
van
driving
driving.
and
Is
stuff.
that
It cuts
what
back and
was?
forth
'Cause
between.
that's a long
Yeah.
time.
And it'll show the house and go, ooh, ooh, ha, ha. It's like some
Dude,
kind of fucking
but I bet that was
Carmina
the
Burana
most
bullshit.
fun thing about like shooting the movies. Like, I gotta want to be the driver of that van.
No, I think it's a
Like,
great
I
van.
wanna drive
But the
it.
van gets stolen real early.
Yeah, it goes
So
bye-bye.
Thor's driving. There's a bitch and tune.
It's
There's
all
handcuff
fake,
dangles from the RV mirror. It seems like he's in this fucking van by himself. There's supposedly 8 other people in there.
Yeah.
So they go to that house.
It's been 10 years.
When the van finally pulls
Why
out.
did I write 10 years? Oh, it's been 10 years since, I guess, those people died.
People got murdered.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
they're
the
supposed to spend
manager,
5
Phil.
weeks. They're supposed to spend 5 weeks at this farm, Phil explains.
And he said, would I pick a loser? And I was like, it looks like you would.
There's a studio in the barn.
There's no
and
phone or TV, though.
No phone or TV, and everybody's like, oh.
And he's like, but there's a 24-track recording studio. Also, there's privacy for sex, I guess, or something.
There's 4 bandmates plus their girlfriends.
Well, one of them's
And
married.
Thor's
Roger Ebert is
Roger
married
Ebert is-
to Mary Ebert.
And Thor does say Toronto's where it's happening.
It's Ebert.
Is Thor?
No, it's Ebert.
It's
Thor?
Ebert. It's Ebert. It's supposed to be a play on
It's
Roger Ebert. Yeah.
Okay,
You're missing
but
the E.
It's
there's
spelled
a T.
differently.
I thought it was
Yeah.
E-B-U-R.
It's spelled differently, though. It's Eburt.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's credited as Roger Ebert. Yeah.
Word, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Word.
yeah.
Word.
Roger and Mary are married. Lynn and Stig.
No, it's not Lynn. It's
Lynn and
Luann.
Stiggy.
It's
Luann
Luann and
and
Stiggy.
Stiggy.
Randy and
The drummer.
Thor. His name is John in the movie.
Yeah.
And then Max and Dee Dee are not together.
They're bandmates.
They're bandmates.
But
Dee Dee plays keys.
There's some heavy flirting.
They're gonna fuck though.
They're gonna fuck,
so,
for sure, for like 10 fucking
also,
minutes.
Stiggy, who's the drummer, he
starts off with an Australian accent,
and then
later on, once he's a demon,
But that's because
Once
that's
he's a
not his
demon.
voice. I think that's the director because the director did the demon voice at the end.
okay.
So I think some people
I
say
thought
he was doing
later on he's doing a Terminator and a crocodile. On
some
the
people
thing
say
in the
it was a
mirror.
fake accent, but some people say I don't know. Regardless, I
It's
don't
ridiculous. Phil's wearing a bitch and Archie jacket. I don't know if you guys caught that.
And then he
then-
sees Carl, who's
yeah,
in the
Carl
movie for
shows
5
up.
Phil,
minutes.
the manager?
Yeah.
Carl the red herring shows
Dude,
up.
it's not an Archie jacket. That's a jacket, like, are you
It had
talking
a,
about...
didn't have
talking
Archie
about
on it.
the guitars?
I thought it was Archie.
It's
It had
bunch of
Archie
thi-
on it.
Okay, okay.
Carl says that Alice Cooper and Rod Stewart have been
Apparently,
there to
Carl
record.
got this whole house set up, but Carl's not in the movie except for in this part.
He
and
said
calls
something
it-
about a piano bed, which I never
There
see.
is no. You
see the piano
that's
bed?
what it's the bed. It's okay.
Is it the
It's the
bed?
back of the piano. It looks like a coffin. It's the bed that Randy and John are in.
Oh, that's what they're fucking on?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not. They
But I know
don't fuck in that bed. They fuck in the shower.
They
Yeah.
fuck in the shower for 10
But
fucking
Carl
minutes.
says Alice Blooper, RCS, something Stewart instead of Rod Stewart. But anyway,
He gets the keys finally. They go in the house and they start assigning bedrooms. And I wrote the drummer's girl is a cunt. Luann's
she goes,
awful.
Stiggy, why couldn't you be a coke dealer? I flipped
Something
my line.
respectable.
Like, because you could tell she flipped her line in the middle of it. But this is something I did have an issue with. John Thor, his character, keeps on saying, okay, obviously there's a recording studio, so why do you not know why you're there?
Wait.
Rehearse. He keeps on saying this is a place for rehearsing. Even though there's a
They're gonna
24-track recording studio. But he keeps
Yeah.
calling it rehearsing. For
Well,
I don't even know.
They're making
He's a real
demo.
musician. He knows what he's
And then,
doing.
but anyway, after the conversation with Carl, we see Phil move a wheelbarrow for about 2 minutes.
He does do that.
A wide shot.
While Thor's locking up the van.
yeah.
And Thor sees a shadow in the window and we're like, oh, is it a demon? No, it's just Randy playing with her titties.
Yeah.
She like starts squishing them together and stuff. And then it's nighttime and there's the half moon. But I have an exclamation point because there's a full moon in every
I
other
said
horror
too
movie.
much tedious in between padding, but
There's wind in the trees at dusk. They try to make it look, there's fast black clouds. They try to make Ontario look as menacing as possible. But
yeah.
I was like, this is pretty.
so yeah, they're apparently
Cam.
Mary and Roger are on their. This is their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Stig is
Romantic.
dumb. Max is horrible at acting, and Dee Dee wants him. Luann is not a housewife, because they're gonna go wash the dishes while the boys go play. But Dee Dee.
The managers made them chicken. Some good looking chicken.
Yeah, Dee Dee starts washing the dishes with them, but then they're like, "Hey, Dee Dee, come on, you're in our band." So then we have more exposition
Thor
of
says,
her walking into the barn.
guys, let's go tune our weapons.
Yeah.
But they do the dish dance. They made dish, and there's so much dishwashing in this movie.
Yeah.
There's like literally
Yeah,
3 or
it
4
comes up
different
a
But
few
dishwashers.
after
times,
that,
man,
after
yeah.
they're like, okay, we've been washing dishes long enough, but they only
No,
eat once.
there's choreographed
They only
dishwashing.
eat once,
Yeah,
so I
they
don't know
dance.
why they do dishes so much. They only eat one time. There's only one time anyone eats
Yeah,
dishes.
this meal's the only. Well, no, because they're cooking eggs and bacon.
Oh yeah, the
later,
next
too.
day I guess. But anyway,
Mary's knitting during the practice.
there's horrible exposition of watching them walk to the barn.
And I saw one on the bass drum. There was a picture of Animal from the Muppets, but it did not show it again.
No, and I was like, why did they need to pad this movie to make it an hour and 23 minutes? It could have just been like an hour, like what the fuck?
Not in Canada.
But I guess not.
Well,
Anyway,
they were probably
it's,
getting government money.
it's time for rock and roll. So
It's a nice barn.
in the song, he says the Russian girls are dancing to a brand new beat. I don't know why.
We live for rock.
And we are watching the performance of this whole song, and then it slows down for no reason when it shows the drummer.
Yeah.
But like it's in slow mo for no
Well,
reason, and then it just.
the alien has gone behind him.
This is the worst alien creature I've ever seen. It's like this Cyclops dick.
No, let's slow down here for a
Fraggle.
second. Let's slow down here for a
Rock.
second and talk about this dick
It's
Fraggle.
a Fraggle Rock.
It's a dick with an eye that
Fucking
spits cum
knockoff.
into a soda
Yeah,
can.
yeah. Okay,
Or
so
some
like
shit.
I
Yeah.
really like
I said, I guess he doesn't like rock because he's throwing up in Phil's cup.
Well, he's
And,
trying to make him a demon,
I know,
No.
but he doesn't.
right?
That,
But he doesn't because he still gets
no,
attacked.
he still has to. Yeah, exactly.
This shit is so good.
But
You
then,
think that cum? It looks like cum coming out of a dick's mouth.
but then Stig, aka Wonder Wallaby, broke his stick on the last cymbal hit, and he said, "It's all
yeah, he
my
was doing
fault."
great, I thought. And then
He
the
was
very end
doing-
was like, dong.
Yeah,
It's
and
like, oh, he broke a stick,
then,
dumbass.
he's like, "You get me," or I think it's Luann that's like, "You get me so excited when you're a forceful lover." Oh, she goes. That's when she goes. Okay, it's fake Luann that goes down.
Yeah, fake.
to
So
hit on
Phil
Hill.
goes to get a replacement drumstick in the basement, and when he's down there, this
They
fake-
call him a wonder manager because he has extra sticks, and then Max goes, "It's a wonder he's our manager." He calls him, and then he calls himself Philip when he's downstairs. By the way,
But Luann comes down there. We think that Luann comes down there.
Yeah.
It's not really her. She's
not
really
Luann,
still
yeah.
up there. It's the alien
she
demon
says
dick.
she's hitting on Phil because she's sorry Canadian and should be upstairs. All they think about is music, and Phil cares about the finer things in life and appeals to a woman and knows what women think are hot. But
This movie's awesome.
he says go back to Stig, and she's like, well, what's gonna happen to me? And she's like gonna try to fuck it, and he's like, how about those Mets? But then
She turns into a demon and bites his shoulder.
Yeah.
And
Then it cuts back to all the band members, so you
And,
see
yeah,
that Luann's
she's
up
there.
there. So that wasn't her.
for sure.
And then they're like, well, where is he? And
Yeah,
then
they cannot find him. He's
they
just
look in
disappeared.
two places. One, they go
And this
not
is
by the
weird.
stairs.
So I'm skipping ahead a little bit. The only other time we see Phil is
Is
when
with the
those-
groupies.
the high school girls
It's
show
the
up.
groupies.
Yeah, and we
They were
never
not
see them
groupies.
again either.
But
Well, they leave.
they talk. They leave. They leave.
They
Right?
get out. They're on the kill
But
count,
whenever
right?
they talk, whenever they talk about Phil and where he is, they're like, remember? They'll be like, remember this time he did this?
Oh,
And,
yeah,
like,
they're always
so
reminiscing
remember
about
this
the
time that he booked
supermanager.
us all in the same hotel room?
Remember the time he got lost in the Vatican and ended up in the Pope's
Yeah.
bathroom in his private chambers?
Yeah, but this sniveling git, that's what
He is
what's
a
his face
sibling.
says, Aussie guy.
They can't find him. The van's gone.
Max even looked in the attic, but he can't be in the barn. But they found him because the van's gone. I don't think that equals.
Well, the van's gone, and one of them, I think the girls is like, he must have gone to go get drumsticks in the
No,
city.
to get drunk.
But then
in the
Thor finds the drumsticks downstairs.
Yeah, so he knows it didn't happen. So someone
That's
says
an easy find.
he says that's the last we'll see him until morning. And I was like, how do you fucking know? No mystery. Phil went into town because he had to go to town to get them. Randy made a lot of assumptions in this scene. But Thor singing brought out the beast in Randy, and she wants to fuck him, but he never really wants to fuck her.
Yeah.
He didn't get
Until
a fucking.
He does finally
clue,
forever.
But he looks concerned or confused, and because he finds the drumsticks, so nice try, Randy, I guess. And then we have a half moon again.
Yay.
Then we see the bed. That's the piano bed scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Judy shows up to Max's room.
Judy.
Is that her name?
Dee
Dee.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any of these names right. I have Mandy, Lynn,
I
and
wrote,
Judy.
well, before Dee, I wrote, God, some guys don't take a hint when a woman wants to fuck him. Thor.
She's like, she
Dude,
comes to hang out with
Thor ain't down.
Well,
No.
Max isn't down at first.
Thor's
with
a
Dee
prude.
Dee
Max
either.
falls asleep during
Max
Dee Dee's
falls
fucking
asleep.
conversation. He's like, "Hey, Dee Dee, what's wrong? That's tough. You can't sleep alone downstairs, but I'm wiped out. I don't feel like talking, but I'll listen to you."
Yeah.
So, anyway, he's the best.
He's being sweet.
Cuts to Mr. and Mrs.
He's really
Ebert.
sweet.
Married life is awesome, but she feels that she's married to the band. And he goes, "Would you have rather gone to somewhere like nice?" It names all these places, and she goes, "No."
Why?
And I was like, "That's a lie." And
We hear an evil laugh.
we hear an evil monster laughing and heavy rock music while
cut
Stig
to Stig
fucks
busting a nut.
the non-moving Luann. And then he's like, "Shake." I thought he was just fucking the bed. But then he's like, "I gotta go shake the monkey, drain the dragon." And then he's like singing his own song. And then he says he'll be back. So, and then she calls him a 1 minute wonder. And I was like, "Why are you even here, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, you're such a cunt." Like,
She's awful.
so then we find out Max has not been listening to Dee Dee because he fell asleep. And we have another monster noise.
And then Stiggy's in the
Then
mirror
fake
flexing.
Stig. Yeah.
No, she's still real Stiggy
yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
He's like talking like the Terminator. Because even when he left Luann, he was like, "I'll be back."
Yeah,
And then he's
there's like a weird
"Give me your
seductress.
claws."
She's called the seductress comes in.
I thought it was Randy.
It wasn't. It's
Is it a
another
whole other
actress
lady?
named the seductress in the credits because I got
She was-
confused about that too.
she was hot.
That's Thor's wife in real life.
Thor's wife is hot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So he's like, "Good day, mate." And there's this hot lady who turns into a drippy dude who puts his hand on his mouth.
Lady turns
But
into
then
a
Stig
droopy
apparently,
dude.
and all it did was make Stig better in bed and better at drums.
Yeah, he walks in to Luann and starts fucking her again, and he's actually good this
He's
time.
really balling her.
Well, Roger
Then
and Mary can hear it. They think it's fucking funny.
That's what
They're like-
that's what I noticed about that is like
a rare turn
all
for
of
Stig.
Stig's friends know he's bad.
Bad
in
at
bed.
everything.
It's hilarious.
At everything. Bad at
is it-
sex and drumming,
This
apparently.
is one of those drummer hating.
But then there's
Pieces
another
of it.
exposition
he broke
shot.
a stick. Everything
I
was
know,
fine.
but there's another exposition shot, and then we see a car pull up, and this is Cindy.
The fan club.
It's Cindy and three
the
other girls that are
Tritons.
the part of the Mesa Songa Triton fan club.
Mesa Songa?
Mesa Songa. I guess that's like where they are.
It must be part of Ontario.
So fake Phil answers the door, and he's cuter and sexier, I guess, because
it's just like
of
Stig. All
whatever.
of his
And
iniquities
he goes,
have been.
absolutamente, babes. Cocaine and stuff. That he's like, they're up there doing coke because that'll knock you out. And I was like,
They're like
what?
drugs, sex, and drugs. It'll really
And he
knock you
goes,
out.
he was like, at 2 a.m. the band members will be down at any minute. 20 minutes. I was like, why? But he goes, now take out your breasts.
Take out thy breasts,
And
women.
he calls them road groupies. He said, we asked for 4 to
Yeah,
travel, grind
He
cocaine,
thought they were there for a job.
scream and faint, and keep the costumes pressed and whip out those bazooms.
Yeah, Bazimbas.
They are shocked.
No.
Why are
They're
you
like,
here?
what the
Like,
fuck?
then he goes, why are you here?
They're like, is there really a band here?
Yeah. And he goes, in a monster voice, he says, we have grown up. We're
Yeah.
grown ups. We have
And the monster
grown up
voice-
rules to fill. Then the girls leave.
And and he starts talking normal after that. It's
Yeah,
like,
but they run. They're like, peace out. We're leaving. That's
and his
'cause
hand, he's got a demon hand.
I thought he got them to go down to the basement.
That would have been smart.
But
And
he got
they wouldn't have had to fucking have so much driving in houses if it had showed.
So we see a
demons.
half moon, and then we see
killing
Phil's
those
monster
girls.
hand, which is just a glove that you see. And then we see the next day exposition, which doesn't look like the same house, but is because the side of it's white and the front of it's brick. But I'm sure Phil isn't dead. That's what Randy says. And then she tells a story about how
Oh, they're doing
that's
Mary
Mary.
and Mandy are doing dishes.
And
here.
she's like, remember the time that Phil spilled vodka on the guy from RCA Areola, shaken not stirred wall?
but so
And then Roger comes in and he says he gets
Yeah.
a boner when she's domestic.
don't we all?
Like, then we see Roger pulled off screen by a monster, and then Mary gets pulled off by a monster as well.
No, they're just gone.
And then the monster doesn't like the radio, so he turns it off.
No, he does turn off the radio.
And then they don't give a shit. The band doesn't give a shit that Roger's up there. There's like, whatever.
Just like, this
Let's
is for the
rock one out.
newlyweds.
rock one out for the newlyweds. It does not sound like there's an instrument missing.
And I think Thor's obviously a better bass player than Roger.
Well, there doesn't sound like there's an instrument missing.
Dude,
I don't know why Roger was even there.
Yeah.
Because Thor's playing
it
like
doesn't matter because he picks it up like nothing happened.
like this is my instrument.
I don't even know why Roger was in the band.
Yeah. Like shit, dude. If Thor could like,
I think he went to high school with the director because he's also in Black Roses.
Yes, but Monster Stig is better at drums now. And in the lyrics it says, "I set my goals and I pace myself." I was like, cool song lyric. You give me energy. And I was like, I bet I'm gonna have to watch this whole fucking song. Which
this is also when he drops his accent.
Yes,
he's no longer Australian.
Well, Stig is not Stig anymore. So it kind of makes sense. But he's never been better. In his belly. They say he's never been better. Luann agrees, but I think she's talking about sex. And
she is definitely talking about sex.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay, so the whole band seems better when they turn into monsters. So I don't think it's a nightmare per se. But whatever. I said, was this just maybe just made to be a continuous music video for Thor's career? Got it, cool.
He wrote it.
Moving on. This vacation is good. Still feels like Sig feels like a changed man. Okay.
He is different, man.
So Dee Dee is like, Max is like, you want to take a walk up to where I'm staying, and Sig wants to take Luann on a walk to this lake in the woods. And then Thor's
like, I'm gonna work on my love song.
But he says that they're studio ready. And then he's like, I think Randy alludes to having sex, and she's like, "Do you, like everyone else is fucking? Do you want to go fuck?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna write a new song about love." So, all right.
No,
she's trying to fuck him through the whole goddamn
I know,
thing.
and he keeps being like, "Nah."
No,
like,
he's serious about his career.
So Sid gets to the lake, and she's like, "What are you? How do you know about this?" And he was like, "Well, I'd actually only heard of it." Which, okay.
He's a demon.
When he goes far enough from the house to do what they have to do, it'll be an original, the first. So he starts to she takes her clothes off. You see her tits for a second. You see her tits for a second.
Yeah.
Not for very long though. And then he takes his shirt off, and a hand comes out of his chest.
And it grabs her tit.
Tit grab death. Yeah. I wrote tit grab death.
She's like, ah.
And then she screams, and then it cuts
that's probably
to
the
Dee Dee.
best. That's the best effect in the movie, right?
It is, yeah. It cuts to Dee Dee, who's having sex with Max, and but she's like, "That's Luann screaming." And then
like,
he goes, "Stig is giving her what she deserves," and then he goes, "But am I giving you what you deserve?"
Oh,
I guess, I don't know. So there's this like weird POV from behind, and then it's slow mo.
It's the Tubular Bells ripoff too.
It's like,
do you notice that? It's like wannabe Exorcist
some
music.
kind of slow mo sex scene, and then you do like an
Eskimo. It's better than the pan flute that's coming up during the child chase.
Yeah, there's like an Eskimo kiss. She's riding him cowgirl style. I don't know why there was a POV there. I guess because
did you even see her nipples?
No.
Her nipple, like every dress she's worn, her nipples have been sticking out like daggers. Then she's like having a sex scene and it doesn't show her nipples.
Then we have
Are you talking about this weird ass, long ass sex scene?
Yeah.
It's right back to back with the shower sex scene with when Mandy finally
it gets
bags
right
Thor.
back into it.
So yeah, Thor and Randy not having sex, and where's his scratch? He says, "Where's my scratch paper?" And I was like, "Why don't you just have a notebook?"
Have you looked in the fucking
briefcase? So Randy's trying to have sex again, and at first she gets denied, but then she gets naked, so he's not that dumb. Then they have shower sex, which is disgusting when they
and in real life, shower sex
forever.
Shower sex sucks,
tongues.
and I don't even think you don't see Randy's nipples either.
No, you don't.
It's weird. Is this a made-for-TV movie?
Well, Dee Dee and Max
Canadians
are done.
in Europe, right?
It's a made-for-TV porno.
Yeah.
It's like, but if for not showing nipples, it's the longest sex scenes I've ever seen that do not show any action.
Skinamax, man.
And I know Thor's boobs are almost as big as Mandy's.
They're bigger than everybody's, I feel like. So Dee Dee and Max are stupid. They're talking about how it's worth the wait.
Having shower sex is dumb anyway.
Shower sex is so dumb. I already said that.
Wet sex is dumb.
I already was thinking that.
Lake sex, don't do it. Ocean sex,
so
don't
then we
do
see
it.
the kid from the beginning, who's actually the director's son.
It's the director's son.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
little kid just shows up.
The little kid from the beginning of the movie. And
we did see it's the alien watching at some point during the sex.
Yeah, but so Dee Dee and Max chase after him, and they're like, "Hey!" They chase him to the barn. and they're like, "Hey, little
And
fellow."
the soundtrack's just like, boo, boo, boo.
It says playful music in,
It's
in the
a
subtitles.
pan flute, like on a fucking
Yeah.
Casio keyboard.
They're like, "Hey, little fella, we aren't gonna hurt you. We just want to meet you."
We just want to bash
And the
your
meat,
fucking
yeah,
brains
that's
in.
what I thought. And then they say, "See, we're not gonna bite you, and the monster kid might bite you though." So the director did make this creature.
Well, it's his son. He probably didn't want anybody.
Well,
diddling
no,
his
each
boy.
person on the special effects team did different creatures.
But so they're staring at this kid wolfing out for like 30 seconds
Yeah, a
before
long
they
time.
scream, and then you see the shadow struggle. You
Both
never
of
see the
them.
boy like.
It's I thought about you because I was
Did
thinking
you?
shadow sex, but
you
shadow
like Mikey's
death.
gonna say something about shadows.
Shadow death.
Shadow-
Well, I was gonna say it.
Shadow struggle.
Shadow death. I
They
guess.
died. Yeah.
Shadow
Then we see the house exposition again, and then the shower sex I thought was done, but it's not. He just wanted to play his own
Shower
music,
sex.
and Randy thinks this house was a
Yeah,
good
they're
idea.
they're still fucking in
They're
the
still
shower.
fucking in the shower.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it cuts back to it. It's
That's
fucking
so
crazy.
hilarious.
So then all of a sudden it's nighttime, and Randy and Thor are the only ones there because
Where is everybody?
They're
Dude,
like-
when they're sitting
Maybe
on the
Phil
couch,
showed
they
up when we
look
were fucking in the
pretty,
shower.
Like,
They say that, like,
dissatisfied.
they're like-
After all that
they're like,
shower
during
sex,
our
they're
long
just like
shower.
staring
Well,
at
Thor
the
said-
Maybe
camera.
they showed up.
Thor says
Phil.
the reason we're the only ones here is because everyone else is trying to scratch a 7-year itch. But maybe while we were in the shower for
Fucking
2 hours,
for an hour.
Phil came back with a van and took everyone into town. What kind of explanation is that?
And then he's like, but the van's out front. Doesn't he say something?
No, he says
And
That's
also,
later,
Thor
okay.
is like dressed a lot softer than he has been.
I'd be way
like,
more
in
worried about
in
the
rest of the
van.
movie. He's got like a sweater
That's a
on
nice
and,
van.
Like,
You don't
some
want to lose a van
slacks.
like
And
that.
then they say, I think Randy says that's the only answer, and Thor needs to do the dishes. I don't know what dishes are
Yeah.
left, but then he's
Well,
gonna.
wait,
he's
okay.
down to do the
I need to go
dishes.
back.
He's
You were
"Oh,
going
yeah,
real fast.
Everybody's busy. Will you do
When
the
Max
dishes?"
and Dee Dee go chasing the little boy, Max stops and
To
gets
do
a
a
piece of
dish.
bacon. No, he stops and gets a
Oh.
piece of bacon and
I'm
is
surprised
like,
he didn't stop to do
yeah,
a
let's
dish.
go find this kid.
I'm surprised he didn't stop to wash a dish. I mean, like,
That was a while back.
but after the dishes,
Oh, and
he's-
there's in the kitchen. There's a Crush clock, like Crush soda
Oh,
clock,
charcuterie.
and it's a really
Yeah.
nice clock. Sorry, I like antiques.
So then, after the dishes, he's going to work on his song and use shower sex as inspiration about how shitty shower sex is, I guess. That's what I wrote.
It is.
Oh wait,
awful.
we also missed the killer chicken in
Water
the fridge,
sex is
right?
not
Then
good.
Thor's like, I've got to have my Coke. I've got to have my Coke.
Okay, yeah. He's like,
Coca-Cola.
you think he's gonna do some coke?
No, what I didn't. I knew it was going to be a Coca-Cola joke.
I thought it was.
He opens the fridge.
I thought he was gonna have some
There's a
toot.
fucking Coca-Cola that he grabs, but also there's a fridge monster in there that he doesn't
the
notice.
killer chicken.
And then Randy.
It looks so silly. I
It
love
cuts to
it.
Randy who sees somebody.
She's
and
washing
she
her
says,
hands vigorously.
She says, "Oh, you scared me." And then you realize she says "little boy," so you realizes that the little boy is there. I guess the little boy demon thing.
We don't ever see him.
So Thor only cares about his Coca-Cola and his music because I thought it was hilarious. He was actually writing sheet music.
Oh yeah, I did too. I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's an actual musician.
Then we see
writing
one-
power chord riffs on fucking like notation paper.
yeah, it's like Beethoven. But then we see a one-eyed Fraggle Rock reject come to the
And
side.
I think it's gonna try to
where the
spit cum in his
major should
coke,
go.
right? Like they did the
What?
pill. I don't know. It looked like he was going for that Coca-Cola.
No, it scares him. The
Well, he slams it on his hand.
Yeah,
Thor
and
puts
then
it back
there-
down on the alien's hand. The alien's like, yee-hoo.
Then there's
Dude,
another
dude,
monster.
I'm having
I
deja
love these
vu.
little like pocket gremlins.
The
There's
dicks.
another
Right?
monster
Aren't they
that
like
looks
Fraggle
like a
Dicks?
dinosaur
Not really,
Yeah,
man.
they
right
tries-
in front of him, but he doesn't
It looks
notice.
like Mickey Rat. Hey,
Yeah.
you guys know Mickey Rat?
Yeah.
You know Mickey Rat?
I don't know.
It's like some crumb related shit.
Arc,
And it
arc.
looks,
some
like,
kinda
it
like
looks like
con-
Mickey Mouse, but it's all fucked up
Yeah,
looking
he's like
with
all
jagged teeth and
scraggly.
stuff.
But he looks like a dinosaur. He doesn't.
He
Thor
tries to jump at Thor,
doesn't
but
notice because
Thor
he's
drops his
moved to
pencil.
pick up his pen.
It was really
dude.
funny.
But the monster
I like-
squeals.
I love-
That
The
slapstick
monster
shit
squeals.
rules,
Yeah,
man.
it's
It's like, "Ah," and he doesn't notice.
It's like it died because it didn't hit Thor.
So
dude.
Randy is following Monster Boy, I guess. Maybe she's already a
But
monster.
she's not really Randy at this point.
No, I said maybe she's already a monster, but never mind. She was going to Thor. I think we have to stop pretending. That's what she says.
Yeah, she's like,
She goes, we have to stop pretending. The guys are dead.
She's possessed. And she's like, everybody's dead. I'm fucking dead.
I paused a lot of this so I could write down full quotes.
Okay,
it got
girl.
real ridiculous. Okay.
Like, we're already at the end.
The guys are dead. They're dead and the van is gone. And there's no way out. I like how the guys are dead and the van is gone. Like those are equal.
And then Thor's like, "Oh no, actually the van's up front."
He goes, the van's back. Actually, I was like, since when?
This is the reveal, right?
Now Randy has a demon voice, but Thor doesn't notice anything.
No, he does, but he does. He
does, but you don't think he does.
Yeah,
yet.
As a viewer.
But Randy is dead and is now the evil one, I think. So nice effect, Randy. He says. That's what he says. Nice effect, Randy. I don't know. What the fuck is wrong with him?
He turns into a fucking demon.
Well, no, I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't understand what was wrong with John at the time.
Oh, okay.
So he says, whatever, the monster has trifled with John long enough, and now it's time to die. Fraggle Rock monsters rise. Destroy this human interloper. He invaded their Canadian country vacation home. They don't say, he doesn't say that.
Okay,
he says you invaded our home. But what I called...
Which I think he's the little kid. Like that little kid we're seeing is just a demon replica of him. Like there's a demon Phil.
It's Beelzebub.
He keeps calling him Bub.
You'll know. He calls me.
Okay, so
he calls me a bunch of things. I have it all.
So we're not... Wait, one second. We're like... in this point in the movie, it's like his fucking girlfriend turns into a demon in front of his eyes, and he's like, ha ha ha. Yeah, he didn't nice care. Joke.
So this is when he says that
nonplussed.
Thor says that stop wasting my time. Okay,
Bub. And he keeps calling Bub.
Calls him Bub.
And I thought it was just Canadian.
The demon says, "This is incredible. It is almost no fun to kill one so stupid as to not know what it is that slays him. You are in my domain at my Canadian country house."
Yeah.
And so then Thor says, "You've killed no one, Bub. Okay." So Thor actually knows everything. Boys less familiar would call you Beelzebub, or if you prefer, Abaddon.
And so at some point
or
during
as
this,
the Hindus call you Shaitan.
But four or five more dicks show up, and one of them's got a switchblade, and the other one's smoking a cigarette and coughing. I love those little.
So dicks. He says, or if you prefer Abaddon, or as the Hindus call you Shaitan, or as you were known to answer to Ahriman, Belial, Apollyon, Asmodeus. Thor knows you. Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
None of those other people were ever here, Bub. They were shadows that Thor created to entertain his little monster friends, juicy little souls to bring him out into the open. Just characters he does from horror movies. Horror movies? Oh, Beelzebub saw nerdy bass player in a horror movie from Friday the 13th. That's what he says. He says the one with the guy at the hockey mask.
Yeah.
So. And then Thor...
I thought he looked familiar.
So then here's the big reveal. Thor says... He's been here alone the whole time. No one's been with him. You dumbass Beelzebub. If he pissed him, he knew that if he pissed him off long enough that he'd make a personal appearance because Thor is the intercessor.
The intercessor.
Apparently that means something to Bub. So Thor...
He starts hulking out.
Thor in all of his ripped glory and now a spiked jock strap.
Yeah.
And also now he has makeup on because he's Triton, the archangel.
His hair's all teased out.
He has this jock.
What a twist.
And he says...
I did not see it coming.
This way, you overstep the line again, Bub. It's the Creator's highest law that keeps you in your dark place, and yet you and your brethren still insist on coming into this world and trying to steal a place in the world of the living. Then he takes a dramatic pause, and then he very coyly looks at the camera. He says, "When will you ever learn?" Rock and roll fight.
Yeah, he starts catching all these green stars.
Rock and roll fight is fucking right.
All these stars start getting.
They're like.
Which he's clearly grabbing and just putting on himself. So anyway,
but then he starts ripping them apart.
It doesn't take that long for Beelzebub to say,
squid fight, man.
"Well, you win this time. The place is yours."
But he's like wrestling this dude. He's like in a Roman knuckle lock, and you can tell he's just holding this doll up, this big demon doll.
Yeah, and he says, "See you again, old Scratch." So then he goes into a cemetery, I guess, and he says, "This is Thor." And he says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You have not died in vain. I, his messenger, have avenged your death."
Yeah, this
Thor
is
is
when
gone.
it gets fucking Christian.
Then it shows this new house in the suburbs, and there's screaming. So I guess Bub is
It's happening
there now.
again.
So that's the end of the movie.
But okay, so the graveyard scene, and the fact that
I don't
is he
think
the
it's supposed to
kid?
make any
Like he's an angel using the survivor child?
I don't think so. I think
No?
it's just a random thing.
Who were the people he was fucking avenging?
I don't know. I think he was avenging shit
But
for
think
God.
about- I think that
Jesus is
See,
dying
I think there's
at
some
the cross.
connection
I don't
that is
fucking
lost
know.
in translation from
Well,
Canadian.
I don't think he thought about it.
I'm sure
This
Thor
movie's fucking-
He
Thor
wrote
knew what
it.
happened. Thor knew
Well,
that
but
what the
he
connection
decided
was.
not to put it in the movie.
Yeah,
So-
I guess.
So we don't really have. Okay, I have a kill count, but technically there are no kills because
They're just
none of them
shadows.
existed. But I'm going to do a
It's
kill
kind
count
of like
anyway.
fucking April Fool's Day.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So one is Carol, the mom at the beginning. She's
She actually
devoured by the
died.
kitchen monster at 2 minutes. Dad, who doesn't have a name, is devoured by fridge monster at 2 minutes 30 seconds. And Cal, the son, is also devoured by the fridge monster at 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
And those are not shown.
Phil is bitten in the neck by monster Luann at 27 minutes. That wasn't really Luann, though. Then we have Stig, who is grabbed by the face by a monster, and I guess his head's crushed at 37 minutes. Roger's pulled off screen at 44 minutes, and then Mary is pulled off screen about 10 seconds later. Luann has a monster tit grab death at 52 minutes. And I guess that's when Stig dies again, basically. Dee Dee dies at the same time as Max in the shadows by the monster kid at 1 hour and 1 minute. And then we have Brandy, who is killed, I guess, by the little boy monster at like 1 hour and 4 minutes. You hear her scream, but you don't see anything. All right. This was shot in 7 days. It is called Metal Exploitation.
Yeah.
By some.
That's
It
the
was shot
month.
in 7 days. Mm-hmm. It's pretty impressive.
The film
It
came
is.
in 10 minutes short of its required running time. Okay. So director John Fasano and star John Michael Thor filmed sequences of John Triton driving the band in the van to the farm. Hence the prolonged opening shots of the van driving to the farm. Rusty Hamilton, who plays the seductress, the person who comes in and kills Stig, is Thor's wife. The film was originally titled The Edge of Hell. Producers chose to retitle the film Rock and Roll Nightmare to help sell the film on the video market. I already said this. The director's son plays the little demon boy. The bulk of the cast was paid $100 each to act in the movie. So,
Shit.
That's what's up.
the budget, I did do the calculations on this, so I didn't have to do them now later. Canadian dollars, I found 2 different ones. I'm going to go with Wikipedia's. Was $52,000. That was the budget, which equals about $38,651 in US dollars. I didn't find a gross for like how much it made. I do know that there was a sequel made in 2005 that's apparently very bad, but you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Intercessor, Another Rock and Roll Nightmare. At the end, the attacking starfish things, they wouldn't stick to Thor. So he would have to actually catch them and hold them against his body in order to simulate being attacked. And then I got this quote off of monstershack.net because I thought it was pretty funny. And he said, to be fair, this movie's DVD had an interview with Thor, and he does seem like a nice enough guy who's just out to have some fun, make some music, and dabble in a few bad movies. Okay, fine. But when he goes on to mention that he made this movie because he knew that he had the talent and the skill to pull it off, well, that's just asking for ridicule.
Oh, no.
Hey.
No. Dude, that's kind of cool.
So the other main thing that a lot of these people that were in this movie were in, and the director did, were the jitters out of
And Zombie Nightmare.
and Zombie Nightmare and Black Roses. So how many stars do you give this?
I give it 4.
That's
A strong fucking 4.
I give it 2.5.
I really loved it.
I'm going
And
3.
I saw it
I
a
thought it
lot-
was. I really
saw-
did not.
Dude,
I mean,
saw
it's
the-
too.
Wait.
It's too creature
I
features
gave
sci-fi.
October Blood 2.5. I'll give
Dude.
this the same.
I give it the
saw
same. I
this
think I gave it
movie
the
a long
same.
time ago,
Did I
and
give it the same?
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
I
They're
think
at
I
least
gave it
worth
the
watching
same.
once.
I thought this was real
Yeah.
dumb, but I mean, like, okay.
I can see myself
I
getting
haven't
really
seen this
fucked
movie
up
since,
one
like,
weekend and
right
watching all
after I
these
got out of
movies
high
together
school, and, like,
as
Yeah.
like a marathon.
Yeah, man.
Well,
like,
it's kind of what you're supposed to do.
You got nostalgia.
You have nostalgia with it. We don't.
Rusty Hamilton, the seductress.
I did
was
watch-
Fly.
I did watch the Riff Tracks version of this first, and I do recommend it.
Is it more fun?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, stay gagged on Thor. And it's spiked jockstrap.
Say gagged on bacon rashes.
And Katie, you're a butt slut. Say gagged on the dishes.
What up, Nick? What you saying gagged on?
I don't know, man.
Coca-Cola?
I guess
Like
come
Thor?
take it all away.
Huh?
What do you have to say?
No, it's
I
time
don't
for
have
Nick's
anything to
monologue.
say.
Nick,
Hey,
take the mic.
I've got a mic.
But he's meaning take it as in like
Take it away. Let's hear
take it away.
I want to hear your monologue.
I don't have one.
Are you depressed that are we being too dismissive of one of your childhood favorites?
No.
What? No.
Do you think this is better than Labyrinth?
That's not one of my childhood favorites.
Is this a childhood favorite?
Wait, this movie?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it
no.
was a childhood favorite. I don't know
Was
where
it
you
not?
got that.
A
I think he just said he
favorite?
liked it when he saw it. I don't think it was a childhood favorite.
After I got out of high school.
I thought you were sad
Yeah,
that we were.
I thought it was just a couple years ago. I didn't think it was like when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Were you in high school when you saw Rock
He
and Roll
said, hey,
Nightmare
you
the
just got
first?
out of high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was like he was a kid watching The Wizard of Oz and Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Well, now you're like 40, right? So I mean, that was a long time
He's
ago.
37. He's 37.
I'm 41.
I'm 38. We do this. We don't need to give our age.
Hey guys, my name's Mike.
All right.
I'm
Give
Emily.
your address.
I'm Nick.
Give your mailing address, your P.O. box.
Your social security number.
8659.
What the fuck is that?
I
That's not
live
anything.
on a hill behind an old house.
All right.
All right, so stay
With
gagged
the
on all of our
cuts.
social
Stay
media.
gagged on
Stay gagged on-
Mike's social security number.
Stay gagged on all of our social
Godzilla.
media: Instagram, TikTok, Gag with a Knife Podcast, Twitter, Gag Knife Pod. Go be a Patreon. Go be a Patreon.
Next week we're doing the same director. Next week, same director. We're doing Fasano Part 2.
Yes, we are, because we're doing Black Roses. Stay gagged on.
I wonder what zombie apocalypse is. What, zombie
Shut
nightmare?
the fuck up
Wait,
and let her stay gagged.
is it zombie nightmare?
Yes, call it
Rock and Roll
Zombie Nightmare.
Nightmare?
It's a Zombie Nightmare. Rock and Roll Nightmare is the movie we just talked about.
Why does it keep saying? Why do they call it Rose's Nightmare? Black Rose Nightmare.
Because he. Why would he.
Hey man, I had to pad the episode by 50 seconds, or the Canadian Film Podcast Association will pull our funding.
Canada.
Duh.
Okay.
Dia is a day.
Become a
In
Patreon
Espanol.
for member shoutouts, exclusive bonus
You already said
episodes, early access to episodes, and you can even choose a movie for us to do for you
Gator bait.
at www.patreon.com/gag me with a knife
Fried green
podcast.
tomatoes.
I would do that. I'm fine with that.
Steel Magnolias?
No, fuck you, and fucking what's her face? Get your juice.
Get your goose.
Juice. He's like your juice.
Wait, the movie
Julia
Juice?
Roberts' character.
Let's do Juice.
I would love to do Juice.
Shit.
Juice is a fucking
Dude, let's do
baller
Juice.
movie.
Let's do that.
Let's
No,
do Juice.
get your juice.
You got
Julia Roberts.
You got the juice now, Emily.
Julia Roberts' character, because she has diabetes. in Steel Magnolias, and she dies from it. But they are always like, whatever.
Spoiler, Emily.
I don't care. Her
Spoiler.
name's Shelby. They're like, get
I
your
think
juice,
that-
Shelby. Get your juice,
That
Shelby.
might have been the first movie I
to
cried
control your
because
sugar,
of.
Shelby.
Hey, Tom Skerritt's in that. It's a high-class movie.
Well, so
Olympian
Sally Fields gave
Dukakis.
I think, an award-winning
Oh, she
monologue.
tried.
Well, no, she won for it.
Did she?
Yeah, I think so. It is
Man, she was
actually no.
hot back
That
then.
scene is heart wrenching. I actually
She was
do.
hot
I,
back then in
I
the
do
fucking
not like that
90s.
fucking movie,
But,
but
the
I.
best
Gidget was
came
hot
out.
back then
It
in
came
the
out. It
90s.
came out in the 80s.
Shirley
What?
MacLaine is
Still
the,
like no, it
Shirley
came out in the 80s.
MacLaine
No, dude,
is
that
the
was
best part of that
nice.
movie.
Yes, it did. It came out in
had to be
1989.
If we consider,
89. Oh.
we should do this movie just for the podcast because diabetes is a
It's
serial
a killer. It's the
Was-
number one killer
was
in
Walter
America.
Brimley in
heart,
there?
it's heart,
Magnolias is a
heart disease.
slasher,
Heart
dude.
disease is the number one killer. Anyway,
Yeah. Close
buy
up.
our merch at
Bye.
gagwithnightpodcast.com. But become a Patreon. That's actually would be.
No one's gonna
cool.
buy merch after
Ooh,
that.
somebody
They
pick
have,
River's
though.
Edge. I want to do River's
Really?
Edge.
It's not okay. Anyway, why don't
If
y'all?
somebody says
The whole thing,
$5,
Mike,
do it.
is they get to pick.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah,
telling
So
you.
stop telling them
We gotta
to
get
pick
out of here
pick.
somehow.
So anyway, yeah, I guess we'll see you next time when we're doing Black Roses.
I'll try to get her real mad then too, guys.
No,
This is the
Shelby.
best radio.
Fucking go drink your juice, Shelby, and I will put cyanide
Don't
in
talk
it.
about his juice. It's disgusting.
So
Self-milk.
gross. I forgot about self milk.
Was that the first self milk
That's not what they're
reference?
talking about in Juice in the movie. Juice is a figure of speech
Juice
in the movie
yourself.
Juice. No, Juice is a figure of speech in the movie Juice.
Yeah.
It's like game.
swag.
Yeah, it's game. It's murdering people. And we'll see you next time when we're doing Black Roses. It's rock and roll time. Rock and roll!